Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell from the title of the video, spring is here. Therefore, we're going to create a spring inspired makeup look. Super excited. Mostly just to sit down, hang around with you all and put on some makeup. It's one of my favorite things to do. If you are new here, hi, hello. I give you an extra warm welcome. I would love it if you can click the subscribe button and hopefully choose to stay for a while. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you more than you know. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty, I actually put my primers on off of camera. I pulled my left side of my back today after it was run day. It's Saturday. I ran a little over 5 miles and then I decided to do a little bit of accessory work right after, and as I was positioning myself to do RDLs on my left leg, I just heard like a on my lower back. So this side is pulled just a tiny bit. Not as bad as I have pulled it in the past, but enough for me to be like, okay, I'm stiff and it hurts. Okay, so I'm gonna jump in to the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer in the Blurred Matte finish, and I'm going to add just a tiny bit of the Ciara Dewdrop Foundation. I'm almost done with this, shade number 6. And I think this is the last one. I believe I had 3 of these. I had, I think, shade 3, shade 4, and I purchased shade 6 on my own, thinking it would be a good tone to use on its own, but it's actually a tiny bit too light. So when I repurchase the Ciara Dewdrop Foundation, I think I'll go with shade number 8. The shade range for it absolutely sucks, and I mean sucks so bad. They need to work on it. But I am currently on a low buy, no buy, so that won't be anytime soon. And I have other foundations I want to dip into a tiny bit more. This is the 109 from Makeup Forever. For primers, I went into the Wet n Wild priming serum to bring back moisture, the Cali Ray mattifying primer for my T-zone, and a tiny bit of the Chanel glowy primer, which I think the actual Chanel website is the only place you can grab that if it's still available. I have been really enjoying this Laura Mercier foundation. It's really pretty. All right, so I have the Refi and the ABH concealer out for my rotation. I think I'm gonna go into the Refi, which I do enjoy. This concealer, it's really nice. It's lightweight, blends out like a dream. I hope she's gonna give us foundation soon, hopefully. This one is shade number 8, BK N14. So my no buy has been going well slash low buy, because I did make some exceptions. I did purchase the Wicked Widow American Psycho collection that just shipped out, I think, yesterday. So I'm excited to receive that. I watched the film a couple days ago and excitement of receiving only the 2 items I purchased. I got the eyeshadow palette and the blush and highlighter duo. So I'm excited for that. And then I don't know when these Chanel stick concealers are coming, so that's another exception. I did see, was it Amy Beauty Talk? I forget. I'll put her page here. She posted an update on the Givenchy Prisme Libre pressed bronzers, the one that have the 4 different tones in it. I'm gonna jump into this Milk makeup, and it seems like we're not getting them over here in the States until June, which, I mean, honestly, it'll be here before we know it. April's almost over, Mother's Day is coming, like June will be here before we know it, you know? I'm not too upset about it. I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't have to worry about the exceptions I've made for my low buy no buy, at least for April. I might extend it until May. We shall see. maybe I'll make an exception or two, like maybe only allow myself to purchase 2 or 3 launches. I don't know, we shall see. But for now, my pocketbook is safe. And yeah. Okay, I am gonna jump into this Westman liquid bronzer. I have shade number 2, Soleil Parfait. Might jump in a tiny bit to the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer. I'm still enjoying this Westman. It's here in my everyday makeup basket. For some reason, I've been forgetting that I have this, and I absolutely love it. I think Westman did a fabulous job. The tones, the formula. I know some people think it dries down too quickly, but I personally have not really had an issue with blending it out. Sorry, my kids are being loud. My oldest is creating scavenger hunts for the twins. Yeah, see, it blends out fine for me, so I don't have any complaints about the formula. But yeah, this tone is beautiful on my skin tone. I think it's perfect, honestly. And this is a Sigma 60. Like, do you see that? It looks natural, beautiful, so pretty. And it does dry down. It doesn't stay tacky or sticky or anything. Okay, I gotta figure out what cream or liquid blush I'm gonna use. For spring, I personally like to go maybe a little bit more peachy. I'm gonna jump into this Kevyn Aucoin blush stick. Awaken is the tone. It's such a beautiful springy color. It's not exactly peach, but it's still a pretty spring color. This is the Sephora 96. And I just put it on the back of my hand and dip it. So I think I know how I'm going to start my makeup history series. I think I'm going to do some research on who was the first famous makeup artist. If you know the answer, let me know down below. The reason I haven't started the series is because I'm brainstorming and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to start the series. And I think that's a good area to start with. So I got some research and studying to do. Okay, I'm gonna jump into the Charlotte blush and powder face palette in Flawless Pink for my under eyes. And then I'll do the Givenchy Prisme Libre pressed powder in shade 03 Voila Rosé for my T-zone. And then maybe I'll do a loose powder. The last time I used both the Givenchy and the Charlotte, gosh, my makeup looks so good all day. I'm just setting my under eyes with a little bit of setting spray. I would love to know, what makeup do you gravitate more towards when spring is here? I feel like everyone is so different. I feel like peach is almost always the answer, but I do like to venture off. And then for foundations, I start leaning towards my satin, maybe matte finish ones. And if I want glow, then I'll just do like maybe the Hourglass powder and finish off my makeup with that. But since temperature is getting warmer and my T-zone does not like that, I do start seeing my oils start to pop out a tiny bit more in my T-zone. See how pretty my under eyes look. Now I'm gonna jump into the Givenchy and I'll just use the puff too. I'm just dipping into all 4 shades right in the middle. I could probably use a brush, but it's fine. I don't even use the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer. You see that? Look at that pan. Yeah, you see how smooth my skin looks? Okay, for the remainder of the face, I'm gonna jump into the Melt She's Alive translucent loose powder. I still love this. It is such a fabulous powder. I'm hoping they're gonna bring it back in a non-special edition packaging and with 1 or 2 more shades, because this is such a good powder. This is the 127 powder brush. from the... All right, for bronzer, I'm gonna jump into this Makeup Forever Artist bronzer in 20 Fiercely Amber. I have been enjoying the new Dior formulation for their bronzer. I actually think I prefer this formula more than the older formulations I have. So I might need to declutter one or two of the three that I think I have three. I have the glowy one where it's the highlighter, the blush, and the bronzer all in one. And I think I have two shades in the original formula. But I enjoy this formula more than that one. This is supposed to be the glowy formulation, but honestly, I don't think you really get any glow. In case you were wondering. The Laura Mercier, I am absolutely loving this bronzer. They did such a good job. So I might dip in a tiny bit into this one after I apply. I totally forgot to use my ABH contour stick today. I've also been loving that. I had someone comment on my video where I reviewed that on how it compares to, I forget what bronzer, but I have not tried that bronzer. So then she came back with another question asking how it compares to the Westman, and that made me think, like, actually it's pretty close in texture and in tone to the biscuit shade from Westman Atelier. I feel like the formula is so pretty, so soft. This is the Wayne Goss #1 brush, and I would say it's pretty comparable to the Westman. Cheaper, you know, and similar formula to the Westman contour stick. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I mean, when I tried it, it was during my Sephora haul video where I tried everything that I purchased, so I didn't dedicate too much time into each product where I probably should have done side-by-side swatches. But yeah, I would definitely say that ABH does remind me a lot of the Westman contour stick. Okay, a tiny bit of the Laura Mercier because I do enjoy a tiny bit of glow on my cheeks, definitely during spring. Do you see how beautiful my base is looking? Okay, for today's eye look, I'm gonna use the Bloom palette from Miss Natasha. To me, this looks very spring. It's very peachy, very warm. I did go into the Urban Decay eye primer. This is the Wayne Goss #8, and I'm gonna dip into this very pretty brick. It's a brick tone, like a bricky orange, and I'm gonna apply that all over the lid. And I think I'm just going to blend out the crease with a light peachy tone and put let me bring you in closer, a shimmer all over the lid, and then a matte inner corner. I'm being lazy today, and this is the eye look that I do when I'm being lazy. It's still pretty, it's still effective. I still get to use a couple of shades from the palette. I think I'm gonna leave the lower portion of my eye bare. Okay, now I'm gonna jump into this tone here, Keen. This is in It Brushes for Ulta, the number 105, and that's what I'm gonna use for the crease. Even if I need to go back into that brick tone, I will. Okay, NYX glitter glue is on. Some of the brick tone did come off just a tiny bit when I applied the NYX glitter glue, but it's fine. I think I'm gonna jump into this one here, Fleur. If I remember correctly, it's like a, well, do I want this one? No, I don't want that one because it's actually not even all that sparkly. Maybe let's try Lush. Okay, let's go for this one. So I dipped my finger pretty lightly into the pan, and if I need to go to a different one, I will. Oh yeah, this one, it has like an orangey base to the shimmer, and then it has specks of bigger pink glitter particles, so that's pretty. Should give the eye look a tiny bit of dimension. I do have a tattoo appointment today, just remembered. Okay, now I'm gonna jump into this tone, Petal, as my inner corner shade. I debated pulling out another palette and maybe doing a white, but let's see how this looks first before I do that? No, I think it's fine. Okay, that's what it looks like. Cool. And I'm gonna do my eyebrows real quick. I usually do this off camera, but I figured, why not? This is the Charlotte Tilbury brow pencil. I think dark brown is the tone I have. I just fill them in lightly, blend it out, and then I set them once I'm done with my blush and highlight. I don't do too much to my eyebrows. They're pretty easy. Okay, I look so weird. My eyebrows are done, but I don't have mascara on, so I look a tiny bit odd, I feel like. Let me add a tiny bit of this Lancome mascara eyelash primer. I don't add too much, just a tiny bit. Okay, and then I was thinking, what blush should I use? I decided on this Patrick Ta one. He came out with new shades, and I think for a sale I purchased one of the new shades. It had already been who knows how long since they were launched, and it was already old news, and I think I only used it once on my channel, and I've used it off camera since, but not on my channel. This is She's the Moment, and I feel like it's the perfect, and I do mean the perfect tone for this eye look. So I think I'll do the powder and then a tiny bit of the cream up top. This is the R204 from What's Up Beauty. They launched this brush with their powders, which I love. I've actually been loving this brush for blush instead of the powder. I feel like there's too much space at the top of the brush to work how I want it to work for powder, and so I decided to use it for something else, and it was either bronzer or blush, and I've been loving it for blush. Yeah, I feel like this tone is perfect for spring. I'll use this BK112 for the cream, and I'm just gonna dip in a tiny bit, not too much, and then I'm gonna tap slightly the back of my hand and just add this tiny bit on top. I mean, this look is looking pretty peachy. Blend out those harsh edges. It hurts to try and sit here without hunching because of my back. Okay, MAC Elevated Mascara. I'm just about done with this one. I do have a mini of the Hourglass that I need to try, and then I think I just have my What's Up Beauty mascara, and that's it. So I probably need to buy a few more. Alright, I did pull out an oldie but a goodie, and it's the Dior Forever Luminizer in 01 Nude Glow. This is the older formulation, and this one has a little peachy shift to it. I felt it would go perfect. I also have Coral Cruise from a limited edition launch that looks very similar to this, but I figure let me pull this one out since I haven't used it in forever. Oh, and I did add a slight wing with a pencil liner from Urban Decay, which is really old. I think Smog is the shade. Okay, using that old Dior formulation compared to this one, I just confirmed this formula is so much better, and I do mean so much better. Make by Mario Brow Gel. I don't like this. I do not like this. It does keep my eyebrows in place, but it's just, I don't know if it's the formula itself, maybe the brush itself, but it's, I just want to finish it up so that it can be out of my collection. Yeah, so that should tell you a lot. You also get such a tiny amount of product. It is insane. Definitely other brow gels that I enjoy so much more than this one. Oh my gosh, so I started rewatching Felicity. I forgot how much I love that show. Yeah, let me know if you ever watched Felicity. I forgot how much I loved that show, and they just don't make shows the same. Okay, almost done. Just lips, and I did do a pretty spring-like lip combo a couple days ago that I absolutely loved. Let me sharpen this. Okay, getting in and out of this chair. Okay, so Christian Audette lip liner in Switches. They collaborated with Mel Thompson. It's a little dark, so I do have to smudge it out, but the tone is beautiful. Okay, and then the lipstick from Charlotte from the newest collection. This is in Kiss Talk, and it's that pretty pinky tone. It does have like a sheer base, so it just looks so pretty. Blend it out. All right, let me go ahead and assess the situation off of camera. Come back and we can end this video. All right, my lovelies, here is the full completed makeup. I did run my brush through my hair because it was bothering me. But yeah, everything looks so pretty. Definitely spring appropriate with this peachy vibe we got going on. Let me know down below what tones you gravitate towards too during springtime. I had so much fun hanging out with you all, doing my makeup, talking a tiny bit. I forget to actually talk about stuff while I'm doing these videos, but when I do remember, I do try and talk to you all. All right, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. You have no idea, all the comments, all the likes. If you use my links to shop, it truly all does mean the world to me. With that being said, do not forget to give the video a big thumbs up, and also don't forget to click the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you all on my next video. Bye.